It started out as one of the happiest moments of my life. Jordan and I had finally found the perfect place to celebrate our wedding day. A sleek, modern venue that reflected everything we loved. Floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist decor, an air of understated elegance. It was times us asterisk. I can already picture it, Jordan. The ceremony right here, with the sunset behind us. It's perfect. It really is. This is exactly what we wanted. But that perfect moment didn't last long. We had invited Diane over to share the good news. I was optimistic, hopeful even, that she'd be as excited as we were. But the moment I showed her the photos, I could feel the temperature in the room drop. Oh? Her tone wasn't disappointment. It was disapproval. We really loved it. It felt so unique. Not like every other ballroom or banquet hall. It's certainly different. There it was, the first crack in her facade. Diane was nothing if not composed, but I could already see the gears turning in her head. I just don't know if this is the right asterisk fit. Asterisk. I mean, it's very modern. Don't you think a wedding should feel more timeless? Mom, it's timeless to times us asterisk. We wanted something that felt like times our times style. I appreciated Jordan sticking up for us, but Diane wasn't about to let it go that easily. I'm just saying, years from now, do you really want to look back on your photos and regret choosing something so trendy? What about the Oakwood Country Club? It's classic, elegant, and it has so much history. I tried to respond diplomatically. The country club is beautiful, Diane, but it didn't really feel like us. We want something fresh and contemporary, you know? I just wish you'd consider what's best for the family. A wedding isn't just about the bride and groom, Cassandra. It's about two families coming together. And the country club has always been where the family celebrates special occasions. Inside, my frustration was bubbling. This wasn't Diane's wedding. It wasn't about times her times traditions or times her times preferences. But I knew starting an argument now wouldn't solve anything. We'll think about it, Diane. But we've already booked the venue, and we're really happy with it. Anyway, Mom, we're excited for you to see it. I think once you're there, you'll understand why we love it so much. I thought that was the end of it, but I was wrong. A few days later, Diane called me out of the blue. At first, it seemed innocent enough. She asked how the planning was going, what flowers we were thinking of, the usual small talk. But then, Cassandra, I've been thinking about the venue, and I really think you should reconsider. I spoke with your father-in-law, and we both agree that the country club is a much better fit. I froze. She wasn't just voicing her opinion anymore, she was actively trying to undo our decision. Diane, we've already put down a deposit. Canceling now would mean losing money and starting over from scratch. Jordan and I are happy with the venue. Her response made my stomach drop. Don't worry about the deposit. I've already spoken to the country club and they're holding a date for you just in case. They're willing to waive the booking fee. Isn't that wonderful? She had gone behind our backs, called the country club, arranged for a backup date. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Diane, I appreciate that you're trying to help, but this is completely overstepping. Jordan and I made this decision together, and we're not changing it. I'm just trying to save you from making a mistake, Cassandra. Weddings are a reflection of your family's values. Don't you want something that everyone will appreciate? Everyone will appreciate it, Diane, because it's our wedding. Please, trust us to make these decisions, if you insist. But I really think you're being stubborn about this. I hung up, my mind racing. Was this just the beginning? How far was Diane willing to go to have her way? Cassandra had spent the past week trying to move forward, hoping Diane would respect her boundaries after their last conversation. But that hope shattered when her phone buzzed with a startling text from one of the vendors. Hi, Cassandra. Just following up to confirm the menu changes Diane requested. Let us know if you agree to switch to the steak and seafood option instead of your original vegan and vegetarian selections." She froze, her breath hitching. Diane had gone behind her back and contacted the caterer to change one of the most personal decisions she and Jordan had made to accommodate their friends' and family's dietary preferences. Her hands trembled as she dialed the caterer's number to clarify. "Hi, this is Cassandra, the bride. I just received a text about menu changes I didn't approve. Can you tell me what's going on?" The caterer explained that Diane had called, claiming to represent the couple, and had requested menu changes to better reflect the family's tastes. Cassandra's heart pounded in anger. She seemed very insistent. "We really thought she had your approval, Cassandra. I'm so sorry for the confusion. It's not your fault, but please revert everything back to the original menu." Diane does not times, have decision-making authority for this wedding. If she calls again, let me know immediately. This wasn't just interference anymore, it felt like sabotage. That night, Cassandra decided she couldn't keep quiet anymore. Diane had invited them to dinner, and despite everything, Cassandra agreed, hoping for an opportunity to address the growing tension. The table was beautifully set, but the atmosphere was anything but warm. "So, I took the liberty of calling the photographer today. I noticed you hadn't finalized the shot list. You know, it's so important to have a good family portrait. I told her to focus on capturing group shots instead of all those casual photos you mentioned." Cassandra couldn't hold back anymore. "Diane, I need to talk to you about something. I found out you've been contacting vendors behind my back, changing the menu, calling the photographer, and it needs to stop." "Oh, Cassandra, I was only trying to help. You're juggling so much right now, and I thought I could ease the burden." "I appreciate the gesture, but it's not helping. It's undermining me. This is our times, wedding, Jordan and mine, and these decisions are ours to make." Diane's expression hardened, her voice losing its earlier sweetness. "Well, maybe if you were more open to my suggestions, I wouldn't have to step in. I know what a proper wedding looks like. And frankly, you're making choices that don't represent this family well. With all due respect, Diane, this isn't about representing the family. It's about celebrating Jordan and me as a couple. I'm asking you no. I'm telling you to stop interfering." Jordan finally spoke, his voice hesitant. "Mom, I think Cassandra has a point. We're really trying to plan this together. Maybe you could—" "Jordan, sweetheart, I'm only doing this for you. I want you to be proud of your wedding, not embarrassed by something overly modern and trendy." Cassandra's anger turned to disbelief. Diane wasn't just defending her actions, she was justifying taking control as if it were her right. Later that night, Cassandra confided in her sister, Nicole. "Wow, she really said that? I mean, I knew she was a handful, but this is next level. She won't stop, Nicole. And now she's threatening to ruin everything if I don't go along with her ridiculous demands. She even hinted that she might pull her financial support for the wedding." Nicole's eyes narrowed. "Seriously? First of all, that's manipulative. Second, you can't let her get away with this. You've been planning this wedding for months. It's times yours asterisk, not hers. You've got to stand your ground. She's testing you, Cassandra. But what if she actually cuts us off? Jordan's parents were planning to cover a big chunk of the expenses. If she pulls the money, we'll have to scale everything back. Maybe even cancel the venue and vendors. Look, I know it's terrifying, but you've got to think about the big picture. This isn't just about the wedding, it's about setting boundaries for your marriage. If you give in now, you'll be dealing with this forever." Cassandra nodded slowly, her sister's words striking a chord deep within her. "You're right. I can't let her control everything. I need to figure out how to handle this without alienating Jordan or destroying their relationship. You'll figure it out. You're stronger than you think." A few days later, Diane invited them over for another discussion. Cassandra had a sinking feeling in her stomach the moment she walked into the room. Diane wasted no time getting to the point. I've been thinking about everything, and I've decided that if you two aren't willing to listen to my suggestions, then I don't see why I should keep supporting this wedding financially. Cassandra felt her anger bubbling to the surface, but she kept her composure. Diane, are you saying you'd rather sabotage your son's wedding than let us plan it our way? Sabotage is a strong word. I'm simply saying that if I'm going to contribute, I should have some say in how the money is spent. It's only fair. Fair? Diane, you're not contributing to help us. You're using money as leverage to control us. I'm sorry, but I won't let that happen. Jordan finally spoke, his voice firmer this time. Mom, this isn't fair. Cassandra's right. We appreciate your support, but it's conditional, and that's not okay. For the first time, Diane seemed truly taken aback by Jordan's words. That night, Cassandra made a decision. If Diane refused to support their wedding without strings attached, then they'd move forward without her help. She began contacting vendors, making adjustments to the budget, and preparing for the possibility of scaling back the ceremony. It wasn't what she'd dreamed of, but it was a sacrifice she was willing to make to protect her vision and her future marriage. Cassandra stared at the pages in front of her color-coded seating charts, guest lists, and a neatly organized budget. Every name on the list represented someone she cared about, someone who had played a meaningful role in her life. But it was clear that Diane had other plans. Her notes, written in a bright red pen, were scrawled across the margins. Remove, add Uncle Jim, too many friends, not enough family. The words burned into Cassandra's mind like insults. Jordan hesitated, the phone still in his hand, and she could see the war waging on his face. Let me guess. Your mom again? Jordan sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. She called me while I was at work. She's adamant about adding more family to the list. She says it's disrespectful not to include them. More family? Jordan, she's cutting out my closest friends. People who've been there for me through everything. Her voice cracked, but she bit her lip, trying to hold back the tears. She didn't want to cry, not again. Not over this. I know, Cass. Believe me, I know. But this is her way, okay? She's always been like this. She thinks she's doing what's best. Cassandra stood up, frustration bubbling over. What's best for whom? Because it's not best for us. I'm just so tired of being bulldozed. I've compromised on the flowers, the menu, the colors. And now she wants to take away the people who matter most to me? When does it stop? Jordan hesitated, his voice softer now, almost pleading. You're right. You are. It's hard for me, too. She's my mom, Cass. I don't want to hurt her. Cassandra stopped pacing, turning to look at him, her eyes brimming with both anger and desperation. And what about hurting me? Do my feelings not matter in all this? Jordan opened his mouth to respond, but before he could, Cassandra's phone buzzed on the table. She glanced at it and froze. It's Diane. Jordan reached for her hand, but she pulled away, snatching up the phone and answering with a sharp, measured tone. Hello, Diane. What is it now? Diane's voice was as sweet as honey, but there was an edge to it like steel covered in velvet. Oh, Cassandra, dear. I just wanted to let you know that I took the liberty of hiring a professional wedding planner. I really think you'll love her. She's the best in the business and will help us get everything sorted properly. Cassandra's jaw tightened so much it hurt. You hired a wedding planner? Of course. I know how stressful these things can be, and I can see you're struggling to keep everything organized. Leave it to the professionals. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Diane, we already have a plan. We have everything under control. Oh, sweetheart, that's adorable. But let's be honest, things have been a bit chaotic. This planner is already working on my suggestions. She's wonderful. She even came by yesterday to look at some venues I'd recommend. Cassandra felt her stomach drop. This wasn't just interference. This was an outright ambush. What? You've been planning the wedding behind my back? Diane's tone shifted. Defensive now. I wouldn't call it that. I'm just stepping in where I'm needed. Weddings are family events. It's important to have someone with experience making decisions. You'll see it's for the best. Cassandra's voice trembled with fury, but she fought to stay calm. Diane, this is not your wedding. You don't get to make these decisions. You don't get to erase my ideas and replace them with yours. If you would just listen to me instead of fighting me on everything, this wouldn't be so difficult. Cassandra couldn't take it anymore. No, Diane. This is difficult because you're making it difficult. You're crossing every boundary I've tried to set, and it needs to stop. Now. Well, if that's how you feel, maybe I should stop trying altogether. Let's see how far you get without my help. Cassandra ended the call without another word, her hands trembling as she set the phone down. Cass, your mother just crossed a line I can't ignore anymore. Jordan swallowed hard, guilt and frustration warring in his eyes. I'll talk to her. I'll make her stop. No, Jordan. This isn't just about talking anymore. It's about action, and I'm done waiting for her to change. As the hours ticked by, Cassandra poured her frustration into action. She didn't care what Diane was planning anymore. If it came to it, she would scrap the entire wedding and start over. She pulled out her budget, made calls to vendors, and began researching alternatives. Her vision for her wedding might be smaller now, but it would be hers. Her hands shook as she typed an email to their original venue, asking about postponement options. She couldn't believe this was what it had come to. This was supposed to be the happiest time of my life. How did it turn into this war? But every time doubt crept in, her sister Nicole's voice echoed in her mind. Asterisk. This isn't just about the wedding, it's about setting boundaries for your marriage. Asterisk? Cassandra took a deep breath, steeling herself. If I don't stand my ground now, I'll regret it forever. This is my wedding, my life, and I won't let her take it away from me. The next morning, Cassandra called Jordan into the living room. Jordan, I need to show you something. This is Plan B. If your mom keeps pushing, this is how we move forward. No strings. No interference. Jordan opened the folder, scanning the documents inside. He let out a long breath. Cass, this must have taken you all night. It did. But I can't live like this anymore, Jordan. I love you, and I want to marry you, but not at the cost of my dignity or my peace of mind. Jordan set the folder down, leaning forward with his elbows on his knees. I know you're right, and I hate that she's putting us both through this, but I'm scared of what happens when I tell her we're doing it without her. Cassandra reached for his hand, her voice soft but firm. We'll face it together, but we need to set the boundary now, before it's too late. The final wedding planning meeting was not like any of the others. This time, it was just Cassandra and Diane. No Jordan to buffer the tension. No Nicole to chime in with her usual supportive remarks. It was just the two of them, two women who loved Jordan in their own ways, but had found themselves at war over what was supposed to be a joyous day. Cassandra had prepared for this moment as if she were going into battle. She'd spent the previous night rehearsing what to say, how to articulate her feelings without losing her temper, how to stand firm without being unnecessarily combative. But as Diane sipped her coffee, avoiding Cassandra's gaze, the younger woman couldn't shake the tremor of nervous energy running through her. This is it. No backing out. No waiting for Jordan to handle it. This is my fight, and I have to see it through. Diane, thank you for meeting with me today. I know we've had a lot of disagreements lately. That's one way of putting it. Look, I'll just get straight to the point. I wanted to talk to you one-on-one because, Well, things have gotten out of hand, and I think we both know it. Diane's expression doesn't change, but Cassandra notices her shoulders stiffen even more. If you're here to blame me for how things have gotten out of hand, Cassandra, I'd appreciate it if you just said so. I know I'm not perfect, but I'm only trying to help. Jordan is my son, and I want what's best for him. Cassandra takes a deep breath, her voice calm but firm. I understand that, and I respect how much you care about him, I really do. But Diane, the truth is, the way you've been helping has made this whole process so much harder for us. For me. I don't understand. What have I done that's so terrible? I've been trying to make things easier, taking care of the things you don't have time for, making sure everything goes smoothly. Cassandra shakes her head gently, her gaze steady. But that's the thing, Diane. I didn't ask you to do those things. I didn't ask you to contact the vendors behind my back or change decisions Jordan and I already made. This is our time's wedding. And when you step in like that, it feels like you're saying my choices and my voice don't matter. That's not what I meant to do. I just thought I was saving you from making mistakes, from regretting things later. You're young, Cassandra. You don't always see the bigger picture. Cassandra leans forward, her voice gentler now. I get that you're coming from a place of experience, and I appreciate that, really, I do. But this isn't about avoiding mistakes or regrets. It's about Jordan and me starting our life together in a way that feels true to times us asterisk. And honestly, Diane, when you override my decisions like this, it doesn't just hurt me. It hurts our relationship. It makes me feel like you don't trust me to be good enough for your son. I never meant to make you feel that way. For the first time in weeks, Cassandra sees something in Diane's expression that she hasn't seen before. Genuine remorse. You're a smart, capable woman. I've always known that. But, if I'm being honest, this whole wedding has been hard for me. Harder than I thought it would be. Jordan is my only son, Cassandra. My baby. And this wedding, it's like this big, glaring reminder that he doesn't need me the way he used to. That he has you now. And as happy as I am that he's found someone who loves him so much, it's also made me feel lost. Like I'm being left behind. Cassandra's chest tightens at the raw vulnerability in Diane's words. She hadn't expected this, hadn't even considered that Diane's behavior might be rooted in fear rather than control. Diane, I had no idea you felt that way, and I'm so sorry if I've done anything to make you feel pushed aside. But I want you to know, I'm not trying to replace you or take Jordan away from you. You're his mom. No one can take that from you. I want us to have a good relationship not just for Jordan, but for both of us. And for that to happen, I need to feel like you trust me to make the right decisions for myself and for him. Can you do that, Diane? Diane exhales deeply, her hand tightening slightly around Cassandra's. I can try. I know I've been overstepping, and I'm sorry for that. I didn't see it before, but now I can see how much it's been hurting you, hurting all of us. Thank you. That means so much to me. I just want this wedding to be perfect for both of you, but I realize now that perfect isn't my time's version of perfect, it's yours. I promise I'll step back and let you and Jordan take the lead from now on. That's all I'm asking for. I'll make sure you're still involved, but on our terms. You'll always be an important part of our lives, Diane. Always. At that moment, something shifted between them, something unspoken but undeniable. For the first time, Cassandra felt like they were on the same team. Rather than opposing sides of a battle, neither of them wanted to fight any longer. Jordan hesitates in the doorway, his eyebrows raised in curiosity. Am I interrupting something? You two look way too calm for this to still be about the wedding. Actually, we just worked things out. Your mom and I are on the same page now. Don't look so shocked, Jordan. I'm capable of getting along with your fiancé, you know. Well, This is the best news I've heard all week. Does this mean there's no more drama? No more drama, I promise. You've chosen a wonderful woman, Jordan, and I'm going to let her plan the wedding the way she wants. I mean it this time. I never doubted you, Cass. Thank you for everything. The resolution wasn't perfect, but it was real. For the first time, Cassandra felt like she and Diane had reached a place of mutual understanding. It wouldn't erase the challenges of the past few months, but it was a start, a foundation they could build on. And with the tension finally easing, Cassandra could finally focus on what truly mattered: marrying the man she loved and creating the life they had dreamed of together. The day had finally arrived. The months of planning, the sleepless nights, the emotional confrontations, they had all led to this moment. Cassandra stood in the bridal suite, her reflection staring back at her from a full-length mirror. Her gown, simple yet breathtaking, hugged her figure perfectly, the intricate lace detailing catching the light in soft glimmers. In that mirror, she didn't just see a bride. She saw a woman who had fought for her voice, for her love, and for her future. Cass, are you ready? It's time. Cassandra turned to her sister, her eyes brimming with emotion but steady. I've never been more ready. Nicole handed her the bouquet, squeezing her hand. You're glowing, sis. Seriously, you've pulled this off beautifully, and you've earned every bit of it. Thanks to you. I don't know if I could have done this without you reminding me to stay strong. All eyes were on Cassandra, but hers were fixed on Jordan waiting at the end of the aisle. His expression, a mix of awe and pure love, was everything she needed to see. This is it. This is what all the struggle was for. A day that's ours, the way we dreamed it would be. Diane was seated near the front, her posture unusually relaxed. Her expression wasn't the sharp, critical gaze Cassandra had grown used to during the planning process. No, today was different. Diane's eyes were soft, her face lit with a quiet pride as she watched her future daughter-in-law walk toward her son. When Cassandra reached Jordan, he took her hand gently. You're beautiful. More than beautiful. You're perfect. Cassandra felt her heart swell, her nerves melting away. You're not too bad yourself. The ceremony had been flawless, but the reception brought a different kind of magic. Cassandra and Jordan had chosen every detail themselves, from the playlist to the dinner menu, and it showed. Toward the end of the evening, Diane stood to give her speech. The room quieted, every guest turning to face her. If you had asked me a few months ago what I thought this wedding would look like, I would have given you a very different answer than what you see here today. And I'll be honest, I made a mistake. I let my own vision, my own fears, cloud what truly mattered. Cassandra, I owe you an apology. You stood your ground, even when it wasn't easy. And because of that, we're all here celebrating the most beautiful wedding I've ever attended. I see now that you weren't just planning a wedding, you were building a foundation. A foundation for love, respect, and family. Thank you for your patience and for reminding me what really matters. I'm so honored to welcome you into our family. And Jordan, you've chosen well. The room erupted in applause as Diane raised her glass toward the couple. To Cassandra and Jordan, the future, and the family we'll build together. The day had been everything Cassandra dreamed of, not because it went off without a hitch, but because it was theirs. I never thought we'd actually get here, but we did, and I think we're stronger for it. We are. You showed everyone, including me, how to stand up for what matters. I couldn't be prouder of you. Cassandra smiled, her heart full. And Diane, I didn't know if we'd ever get to this point, but I'm glad we did. I think things will be different going forward. She's learning, and she respects you, she really does. I saw it today. This isn't just the end of the wedding story. It's the beginning of something new, something better. As Cassandra swayed in Jordan's arms, she reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Sometimes standing your ground means facing conflict. Sometimes it means risking misunderstandings. But in the end, it's about staying true to yourself while also being open to understanding others. Diane's journey wasn't just about letting go. It was about trust, about realizing that her son's happiness didn't mean losing him. And Cassandra learned that boundaries and compassion aren't opposites, they can coexist. The night ended with laughter, tears of joy, and a promise not just between Cassandra and Jordan, but between everyone gathered under that starlit sky. It was a promise to love, to respect, and to move forward together. The story of Cassandra's wedding wasn't just about a bride and her mother-in-law. It was about family, communication, and the power of standing up for what's important. To anyone who's ever faced challenges in navigating family dynamics, remember, your voice matters, but so does understanding. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your own experiences with family and weddings below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, thanks for tuning in to Mother-in-Law Chronicles.